Right, now let's go a bit further. Let's create a new project. New project, console application, enter name, I'm going to call it your age, and then press OK. Click next. I want it to be an empty project, so I check empty project, click finish. Okay, so now it's created me a new project called your age. I want to add one source file, add new item, C++ file, name, your age, add. Okay, so here I am with an empty program again, and this program called your age is going to determine the user's age by asking questions. I definitely know I'm going to need to use IOStream because I want to read in values from the keyboard and write out values to the terminal, so I'm definitely going to include that. I'm definitely going to use the namespace shortcut trick using namespace standard, so I don't have to keep typing standard : : Then I'm going to start my program in main. I always like to close curly brackets when I open them, and I always like to return something when I create a function. It's just the way I am. Okay, so what I want to do in this program is I want to ask the user to give me not their age. I mean, I could just ask for their age, of course, but I don't want to do that. I'm going to ask them for their year of birth, and then I'm going to work out their age. So first of all, I want to ask them a question. So tell me your year of birth. I can put a new line in, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so that's going to ask, tell me your year of birth. To get input in, you use cin, so the opposite of cout, cin, and then you put two less than symbols, and then you put the name of the variable where you want the input to go. So I want to have a variable called year of birth where it will collect the input from this question. Now it's underlined year of birth because that's reminding me that I haven't declared year of birth. So I have to declare that variable, so I'm going to declare it here at the top of the function main, and I know it's going to be an integer, so I'm going to declare it as an integer. Okay, now the red line disappeared because year of birth is declared. And now I'm going to write out a message so that we can check that it's working. Okay, so this will write, you said you were born in, and then whatever number, whatever year they type, and then a new line. Alright, so let's try compiling that. I'll press F7. Okay, it succeeded. So we can try running it. So let's start without debugging. Tell me your year of birth. I was born in 1974. You said you were born in 1974. Okay, so far so good. Okay, let's calculate the age of the person. So for this I'm going to have to declare another variable. It's also going to be an integer. I'm going to call it age, obviously. And then I can use it now. So I've got year of birth, so I can do age equals current year 2013 minus year of birth. So that will give me age. And then I will change the output to say you are age years old. Okay, let's compile that, F7. Okay, it succeeded. So I can try running it. Tell me your year of birth, 1974. I am indeed 39 years old. But what if I hadn't had my birthday this year yet? Then I would only be 38 years old. So somehow we need to account for this. So I think that means we need to ask another question. Tell me your year of birth, get the year of birth, but then have you already had your birthday this year? And then I'll help the user by telling them I'm expecting them to type Y or N. Okay, and then this is another input, so I'll call this, I'll call it had birthday. And I need to declare had birthday, see it's underlined in red, that's not good. And I'll declare this to be of type char. So I could have used string, but I'll use char because I'm only expecting one character back from the user. Okay. So now I've got the year of birth and I've got a Y or an N for whether they've already had their birthday this year. So now I can use an if statement. So if response equals Y, and I'll catch the uppercase version as well. If response is Y or response is capital Y. Oh, I've used the wrong variable name. That wasn't clever, was it? Called it had birthday. If had birthday equals Y or had birthday equals capital Y, then I'm good with this. Okay. Else age is 2013 minus year of birth -1. Okay, so now I think this, if this compiles, press F7, check that it compiles, it does. Now I think this will take into account the case where I haven't already had my birthday. So let's see, have you already had your birthday this year? Well, I have, so let's test that it works this way first. I'm 39, indeed I am. Control F5 to run it again. Let's pretend my birthday is the 1st of December. I haven't already had my birthday this year, so I'm 38. One other thing you can experiment with or learn about here is you can define quantities that the preprocessor will just go and replace throughout your program. So if you put up here, define this year, there's no semicolon after preprocessor directives, then I can use this year here instead of 2013. So it's not a variable this year, it's simply when you press build, the preprocessor goes through your code and replaces all the occurrences of this underscore year in capitals with 2013. Okay, so it's not a variable, it's like a macro, but it could save you some time if you were updating your code for this year to be 2014, then you'd only have to change one character, for example. And it's common practice to use capital letters for things that are defines. Okay, let's just make sure that that builds, and let's just make sure that it runs. It will do. Okay,